Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me live yet again. And it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend and the person I think will make a fantastic mayor of Oakland. She's one on my list, one, two, and three, although that's interesting segue. Allyssa Victory, how you doing?
I'm great. Happy Tuesday. Happy October. Good to see you. Good that you are in great health. And thanks for having me back to share a short update.
Yeah, and that's what I want to get up
I'm
to.
really interested in knowing.
Yeah, I want to know, first of all, what you think of the news that ranked choice voting is not three this year, but five. Five choices. What do you think about that?
Um, I've been through a lot of shocking things already in this election with democracy and getting on the ballot. So I can't say I'm really surprised, but it's still very concerning of the transparency of what people can expect, what candidates can expect, how we can be messaging and even strategizing our own campaigns in a ranked choice election, knowing that now people are having instructions in a ballot that says put five folks in order instead of three. And I think our public was already having some challenges with understanding the three and how to use that ballot already. And so not having enough time now that ballots are coming out and we're finding this out. So it's concerning to say the least. And again, it's another challenge that I'm experiencing and other candidates are on this campaign trail.
Hey, I'm curious to know, as having said that, I find it extremely concerning that the city clerk's office didn't make this a huge public education effort. Am I missing something?
I think it's definitely their obligation to advise us that this is, especially since this is a change, right? That this isn't something we would all be expecting or hasn't been the norm. There should be some really clear, like you said, communication effort along with the county registrar's office, who is the one who prints the ballots, who prepared them, who drafted them, right? Who knew a long time ago what it was going to look like, that it was going to have five and instruction to choose five instead of three. And so having that messaging, even at all of their voter registration events, using the power of our different civic engagement organizations to again make sure we're including this as part of the voter outreach, engagement, and registration that's been happening, right, for the past year leading up to this. And now ballots are already being mailed. So look out in the mail for your ballots. I'm number 7, but it's again kind of another thing that we just have to shift and be flexible with.
Last question before we shift gears and ask about the campaign. I'm going to say what this looks like to me. Okay. It looks to me like the city clerk's office either didn't have the resources to do it or didn't give it any thought in terms of promotion, but also on the sinister side, maybe didn't want to give someone who was way down ballot, if you will, the idea that they can be mayor, even though the scenario that sets up based on our past is a person can win if they just got third, fourth, or fifth place in total. You know, that total number. Is that, am I
I
wrong?
definitely think there needs to be more resources, more staff that are able to handle the education piece and certainly the, actual filing and that type of hard deadline administration. But I think there should always be just more public education when there is a change in something as fundamental about how many options we will have on our ballot that already again is confusing, has been challenging. People are still adjusting to it. There's new people who are moving to Oakland who still have no idea what ranked choice is and have never used it. And so having a consistent education piece and outreach, I think is necessary to fund and invest in through our city clerk's office and again in partnership with the county registrar. But it is pretty unique to Oakland, our ranked choice system. But again, the registrar also helps print and manage a lot of the materials that go out to all the registered voters.
Now, how's the campaign going for you when we do learning along the campaign trail?
The campaign is going good. I'm, got to eat after this to get my second win for the day because I've been out canvassing, door knocking, talking to voters. I, feel hoarse all the time because I'm talking so much and definitely doing a lot of forums and media. So I thank you for the local coverage and support and using your platform to make sure people know that there's ranked choice, there's a lot of options, and that change is necessary in the city. But I think what I'm hearing from voters is they do want to see fresh face, new leadership. They are just fed up with the current administration and feel, that it's completely abandoned our city and left it worse than they found it 8 years ago. A lot of our voters are excited to see a mayoral candidate that is young, that looks like them, that lives in the flatlands, that is a renter, that can relate to a lot of issues that they bring up to me immediately. And I think just being across the city, I hear so many similarities in public safety, in housing concerns, that there is a unity in our public, in our voting around what they want to see change. And so that's really powerful that there's still so many folks who don't know who's on the ballot, who want to know what these candidates are about, who are excited when they hear from me, when they see me, and that want change on how we've been addressing homelessness, how we've been addressing our safety issues. And everyone is saying that it's not working. So I'm, just learning a lot about every neighborhood, but also some of those commonalities among all of their concerns. We're still gaining more endorsements, more support, having events. There's a lot of forums. There's 3 this week. They're on my website, victoryforoakland.com. Some of them are hosted by the Emerald New Deal, which is a campaign around cannabis reform and reinvestment and reparations in our community. And that's going to take place in East Oakland. There's also going to be some online forums, including around gender-based violence in our city. And so I'm excited just that there's more forums, again, bringing to the public all the candidates, letting them know about ranked choice voting, trying to make sure people are aware that voting has already started and that this is an open seat. So we're going to have a new mayor. It's critical that people do their research, that they vote their values, and vote for change.
Hey, what you say people are talking about different issues with you. What's the one that comes up all the time or most of the time?
I'll say public safety is the number one issue. A lot of people complain about the lack of response times. They complain about feeling like there's heightened crime everywhere, about not feeling safe doing basic errands, having their cars parked in certain areas of our city. And people want to be outside, want to be more connected. People are coming out of pandemic, right, and want to go outside more and want to not then be encountering mass shootings at our schools and things like that. And so it is an alerting moment that so many incidents are happening everywhere, even with the arson fires and things. There's just have a level of violence that is kind of overshadowing this election season. And a lot of people are scared. And I don't want to be motivated by fear, but by love for the city, love for our community. And again, reminding us that lock them up politics and just having criminalization of every single thing is always fallen disparately on people that look like me, on poor folks.
And me.
Have to still address, constitutional policing and those things. And there have been so many recommendations, even budget-wise, staffing-wise, that our administration is really not implementing, is not enacting. And a lot of them are common sense. And so I think everyone's number one concern has been public safety when I'm talking to them at the doors. And a lot of them just don't feel like we have a public safety system that is available, that's responsive, that's efficient, right? And we do have a really high investment in them right now. And so I'm a policing attorney. And so we have really deep conversations also about the fact that the district attorney seat is open. We've elected a new sheriff already, and we have some recent scandals with sheriffs being deemed mentally unfit to serve in our department, and requesting our attorney general to have some independent investigation around how that happened, because those reports were from 2016. Right, so this isn't recent. This is something that the office had known about for a while. So all of those things are, continually at the forefront of the conversations that I'm having with our voters. And people just want to, again, feel safe, want to live in their communities, go to school, go to work, and feel safe doing so. And that should be a civil right that we all have.
On that note, if you were to win regarding public safety, what's the first action you would take?
Well, again, I want to implement some of the things we already have passed. Some legislation around, again, shifting officers from non-criminal tasks, moving them into administrative offices to other departments so they can better focus on getting improved response times to 911 emergencies, improved investigations, and that's about shifting our staffing priorities. Not necessarily the number of officers, but what are they doing and what are they spending their time on? Our city auditor, our budget advisory commission already said the majority of their time is on special events permitting, which should be an administrative job. Our council legislated that 2 years ago. Some of the things are powers we already have, laws we already have. I want our city to enact them and to enact them efficiently so that we can get our budget on track, so that we can get all of our departments on track, including our public safety ones.
And on that note as well, will you retain the police chief?
Yes. Certainly not threatening to remove our chief. Our chief, has been on our force for a long time. I've worked with him in revising our use of force policy a few years ago. And he is, from Oakland and has experienced a lot of violence personally growing up and in his family. And I think that he offers a really unique perspective. He is genuine, authentic in wanting to get compliance with our settlement agreements and wanting to meet some of these goals around reform and even our police commission oversight. And so I've seen improved relationships under him and just his deep knowledge and relationships personally that he brings to the role. And so I'm committed to working with him to, again, strengthen and to improve the way that we are serving people in our public safety areas and to get out of our NSA so that we can get back to our jobs if serving Oakland.
And regarding the Chief Administrative Officer, Ed Reskin, do you intend to retain him in that role?
I, again, don't intend to fire anyone. There will need to be a full assessment of who's committed to the victory vision, who is willing to work and implement it, and who is going to be willing to work, at the emergency levels that it requires, especially from the administrator side. It's going to be a really close partnership. Right, we have a lot of work to do on the administrative arm in terms of implementing, enacting, being more accountable, being more transparent about what we're doing, updating more constantly. There's so many things that have been slow and delayed on the administrative side. And Ed has been a part of that. And so I think he could be an asset in those ways of shedding light on what he thinks can improve some of our longstanding problems with even hiring and our high vacancies. And so I don't want to, lose our historical knowledge and our city staff that have been making our city operate this whole time. I don't intend to relieve anyone of their jobs and certainly respect our workers' rights, but will do what's best for our city and ensure that every staff is committed to working together for a unified vision.
And knowing what you know now regarding Howard Terminal, if you become mayor, what will you do with respect to that project? Assuming, of course, by then the Athletics don't announce that they're headed to Las Vegas.
Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they'll even propose some projects at the Coliseum, whether they're sports or not. I've heard, different things, especially around the other development group that is there working.
The African American Sports Entertainment Group.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you met them, by the way?
Yes. And I've attended a lot of their town halls over the years and seen some of just the deep engagement and work they've done to include community voices and vision in their proposals. And so I appreciate a lot of their community engagement and have participated in similar ways in the A's proposal process, including the community benefits proposal that we put together through 6 months of work with residents and workers. And so as mayor, I will still champion, again, community benefits, public land for public good, ensuring that negative impacts that are expected, that are documented and confirmed to be at the site, that they are offset by these community benefits. If we know there's going to be some climate impacts in building it or in maintaining it, then it's already a toxic area. What are we going to do to preserve public health, to enhance people's health who are already, again, suffering more disparately from health issues, chronic health problems, and have toxic environments, toxic soil? And so my position will be community benefits, negotiating in good faith on that, again, for what's best in the public's interest against these private entities. But I do want us to have sports. I want us to have sports that build pride, that build unity, that build, entertainment and social space for our city. And I want it to, again, be done on terms that are going to truly benefit us. I've lived in the Coliseum area. My family work at the Coliseum right now as seasonal stadium staff. I want us to have quality jobs. I want us to have transit. I want us to have safe areas where people can enjoy life, can be housed around these developments. And so I do appreciate the vision, but again, want it to meet Oakland's needs and offset any negative impacts that are expected or confirmed at this site. Um, I'm not sure where the A's are going to be at. And again, the mayor's not going to have sole power to decide anything on this project. A lot of the approvals will actually go through council, and we will have a new council this November as well. So I will work with council again to negotiate what is best and on what council is proposing or negotiating at the A's table.
And as we close, tell them how to join your campaign.
We need boots on the ground. We need donors. We need endorsers. We need hosts if you live in Oakland so we can come to your neighborhood and talk to people about this election. We've also been registering people to vote, especially folks who are formerly convicted who do not know that laws changed 2 years ago to restore their rights. That's critical. Those are people who would vote for public safety and criminal justice, who would vote for economic justice, who would vote for housing.
You should come on back and tell people about that more.
Absolutely. Please invite me back to talk just about, voter enfranchisement.
Yeah, how about later this week?
You can contact me at victoryforoakland.com, victoryfor Oakland.com. My handle on social media is Victory for Oakland. I would love for you to even reach out, comment on what you think about our campaign, our platform, victoryforoakland.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second, folks.
Thank you. We've got, a month until election, November 8th. And so please come and join us. Again, watch our forums. Listen to the difference between me and other candidates. If there's other candidates you like, it's ranked choice election. So you can vote for more than one. On my website, again, victoryforoakland.com, there is an elections information page where you can check your voter registration status, learn about the other candidates and seats that you'll be voting for this November, as well as learn more about ranked choice voting and how it works, how your ballot will appear. So thank you again, Zenny, for having me on. Thank you to Oakland News Now. I look forward to coming back and again, just vote victory this November. Please check out my platform and connect with me over this next month.
And hey, and we're going to come back later in the week. And hey, folks, in just a few minutes, I'm going to have the CEO of the Oakland Zoo to come on and talk about the ballot measure. So be sure you vote for that. Allyssa, stick around in the background. Folks, that ends this broadcast. See you soon. Go Oakland. Thank you.
Go Oakland.
Let me make sure that and that ends this broadcast, folks. And there that is.